Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's vlog. This week I wanted to talk about tattoos. They're becoming a little bit more fashionable, and I think that's great. Actually, I do think that's great. The part that concerns me, I've wanted a tattoo for a long time. Like, I'm 30 now. I think it's been since I was about 17. I wanted one. Now it's taken me 12 years to actually get a tattoo. 12 whole years, and I'm really thankful for that because there's a couple of people I know who are much younger than me who want tattoos, and I want to advise, be very, very careful because it can go in so many different ways. Of course, it is completely your prerogative what you do with your tattoos and what kind of tattoos you get and so on and so forth. You know, I'm in a way, I don't judge people too much on the tattoos they have, because I understand that, you know, some things are personal, some things are not, and obviously you can't always know 100% that the person you're going to go to is going to do exactly what you wanted. I did know a guy who got his own name tattooed on his neck. It was very difficult not to judge. I mean, in fact, I lie, I did judge. But you know, at the end of the day, it's his prerogative. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wanted. Like, cool, whatever. I think in my experience, even though it's taken me 12 years to think about it and, you know, be certain of what I wanted, there are still some things that I feel need to be known and need to be understood. Certainly to people who are younger who get tattoos and so on. Now, I guess it's a matter of where you are, because in some areas, getting a tattoo, getting a good tattoo is easier because you have greater access to perhaps a wider variety of artists, or you happen to be nearby a very talented tattoo artist or parlor or so on and so forth. So you have a better chance of getting a good tattoo. Also, it's a matter of expense. So, you know, the prices can be quite overwhelming at times, but at the same time, to be fair, obviously you're paying for quality, and you really do want to pay for quality. You never want to pay, you know, a competitive price for a tattoo. No, never. To give you an idea of what I've done, I've only got 3. This one, I don't know, wait, can you see it? There you go. This one, that's just, I'm not telling you about that one. This one is the Enso circle. So this one was my first one, and it was very simple and very basic, I guess you could say, because all it is at a very, 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 very basic level, as I understand it, is that it's a form of Japanese calligraphy, and the circle represents, in the very basic form, everything and nothing. So it literally is, quite literally, everything, including the void, including the nothing. So it's all-encompassing in every single way, shape and form, which I really liked as an idea, and that's a universal constant as well, which is why I was comfortable going with this, because it wasn't something that was going to change. For example, let's say if I had got a tattoo of, let's see, Jimmy Savile, Jesus Christ, if I got a tattoo of Jimmy Savile because he was, like, you know, a TV legend and a hero, and then suddenly turns out he was legitimately fiddling children, like, all over the place, and next thing you know, you've got the tattoo of a person who fiddled children, and it just, that can be this forever, and that's great. And the same goes to this one. There's not anything changing there. The one on my chest, I don't know if you can, there you go. I can't really get all the way down there to show you. I've got one there as well, and that one is a picture representing the space, space within a skull. And what it means to me is that we are the universe. Now, I'll be honest, I was once a religious man. I did at one time believe in God. It wasn't anything heavy. I wasn't preaching to anyone about it. I wasn't, like, making people's lives difficult because of it. I was one of those I'm one of those people that don't appear in statistics when we talk about religion. Put it that way. So I was just, you know, just a regular ass dude. And then I changed. I evolved, if you want, whatever you want to call it. And I don't anymore. And this meant a lot to me because it was, I always understood that we were made of matter and particles in the universe and so on. But this was kind of my way of going, you know, that's where my heart really lies. Not obviously my heart lies there, but that's really where my heart really lies in terms of how I feel about that whole thing. We are the universe. We're made of stars. We're made of all of this. It still does encompass certain areas of how we look at religion, why people are religious, and so on and so forth. Because it's still a byproduct of the fact that we are made of stars, we are made of the universe. You know, in some ways, religion still comes out of the fact that we've all come together to be humans and we've evolved to be what we are, and religion's come out of that as well. So, it's all linked in my head. So those are the 3 things, and those are 3 things that can stay as constants forever. When I was younger, the tattoo ideas I had in my head when I was like 17, 18 years old were, without a shadow of a doubt, some of the worst ideas to ever. Just the worst ideas in the world. Terrible ideas. So I had this idea about one, what was it now? What was I thinking? There was, when you're younger and you think you're all deep and meaningful and spiritual and I had this idea that we were never free because we're trapped inside our head, like our skull is a prison for our mind. Actually, that was me. So I had this idea for a tattoo that was like never free, but the letters NF on my shoulder with like barbed wire around or some shit like that. And I was really like hooked on that idea. I was like, yeah man, that would have been an awesome tattoo. You're already there, like that would have been a terrible tattoo. Don't do that ever. And I'm so glad I didn't. Oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't. For one, it is a terrible tattoo idea, but the other reason is NF is also the initials for the National Front, who are basically the bigoted movement that took place in Britain. They're kind of like the BNP for older people, if you want, I think. Yeah. So BNP for older, so National Front became BNP. So obviously if I had their initials on my arm, they wouldn't have looked good. at all. There was other ideas I had with like guns and bullets and things like that going across my chest, and I was like, yeah, that's so cool, I'm so tough, and no. Terrible decisions. I think one of the reasons that tattoos shouldn't be considered, I'm in partial agreement with this, because I do understand. You go through so much when you're younger, because you are still learning, and you still go through things as you're older, but your approach and your attitude towards certain things start to remain a constant, and you start to understand things better. I think one of the reasons that tattoos when you're younger is so perhaps frowned upon isn't because everyone's like, oh my god, they're gonna look so shit when you get old. Can I be honest with you? My tattoos are going to be the least of my problems when I get older. I have so many more problems to worry about. I'm pretty sure my bladder's already giving up on me. So that's going to, and I could end up with erectile dysfunction. I could end up with fucking bowel cancer. I could end up with going blind. I could end up with dementia. And I'm going to worry about my tattoos. Get the fuck out of my face. Seriously. I fucking hate that excuse. It's ridiculous. It's not that at all. I think the reason that people don't like people getting tattoos when they're young is that you change. I've changed a lot since I was younger, even from 25. In the last 5 years, I've changed a lot, and so I can't honestly say that I could get a tattoo that means something to me at the time that will constantly mean something to me for the rest of my life. And that is why I kind of go, if you want to get a name tattooed on you or a face or whatever, make it a family member. Make it someone who's, because and funny enough, even then I know, not my family, but there's going to be a chance that unfortunately something really dramatic could happen and they could leave the family or, be kicked out of the family or whatever, and then you have the tattoo there. So even in a way, like, you don't even get your family's name tattooed on you. You don't even want that. Perhaps your child, for example, because as a parent, that child will always be your child no matter what. Like, no matter what you go through, they're always going to be your kid. So, that's okay. Girlfriends, wives, no. Husbands, no. Boyfriends, no. No matter what. Like, I would never in a million years put someone's name on my body. Like, nah. Not like someone who's like a temporary part of my life. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know what you're thinking, these are initials, aren't they? But no, that's a constant. Like, that is a constant without a doubt. And I would, if there was even the slightest inkling of doubt that it wasn't going to be a constant, or it was, like, I would never have done it. And I just don't think that's cool. If it's something that's a moment in your life that will always be true, then fine. If it's something to do with how you feel about something that is like a huge change, something that something that's made a change in your life, and it's been a big or positive change, like, fine, because that's always going to be, that's written in history now, and you can kind of sign it with a tattoo, so you can always remember that moment, stuff like that. But just stuff, I'm not sure. I never really know about that. And I guess also maybe it doesn't have to be meaningful, but it could also just be artistic. So there are tattoos that I really want. There's a lady who does tattoos in Berlin called Julia, and she actually has this really, really, really lovely style of lines, as though she was actually drawing with a pencil, like sketching almost, and her art style is fucking awesome. It's beautiful. And I want to get something. It doesn't. I don't care what it is in a way. Like it would be nice if it had meaning, but at the same time, I don't care if it doesn't have meaning. It's a really cool looking tattoo, and you see a lot of tattoos like that. You know, that's why you have the fish, or maybe the phoenix, or the tiger, or the dragon, stuff like that. And obviously, when it's done really well, it looks good, and that's it. That's all it is. You know, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I got a tiger because of my proud soul, and oh, I got a dragon because, you know, on the inside I'm fierce. Or nah, fuck that. No, I got a dragon because it looked fucking cool. That's why I did it. I got a dragon, basically. You don't need that much for an excuse. But of course, if you're going to do that, if you're going to make sure it's just because it looks good, then you really need to make sure that you go to the right tattoo artist who knows how to make it look fucking good. You need to go to them and make sure that it looks really, 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 really good. Absolutely. There are more tattoos I want to get, and I'll be honest, I think this is why I'm taking a pause, because I want to be sure, of course, the decision I want to make with it. I really, really do want to get tattoos almost everywhere. Almost. I really do. But again, I've just got to think, is that really something that I want? Again, I've got to pause. You know, I've got to give it a moment, because it is something... as much as I don't want to care and I want to be stubborn about it, like, there is a whole point of employability. And obviously I'm not going to do anything, you know, above the neck here or anything like that, or my hands. I did want to at one point again, but I'm glad I didn't. But as long as I can cover it up, like, it's all fair game. I'm not hopefully going to work in a place where my nipples are on show. But yeah, like, I do want to get more. I do, but the thing is, I think it's got to be advertised that, of course, you've got to make sure that the people you go to are clean, that it's been recommended by someone else. That's another thing. You know, if you know someone else who's been to that parlor and they've done a good job, then that's a really, really good sign that it's somewhere you should go. We've got a guy in the city I live in at the moment who, like, has a tattoo parlor in his home, and literally word of mouth has got that guy like a month waiting list, and that's it. Like, everyone knows who he is, and he's fucking good at what he does. It takes a little while, but he's really fucking good at what he does. And he doesn't really advertise, you know, he doesn't tell people about him. It literally is just word of mouth, because if someone has, obviously, if you've seen a tattoo that someone's done and it's fucking amazing and they've gone, I went to this guy, you'll probably go to that guy, as long as you're doing a similar style of tattoo that they do. Because obviously, again, something to consider, there are specialists in tattoo artists. You know, as you don't know this, you know, there's people who specialise in typography, people who specialise in portraits, people who specialise in just weird, say, abstract stuff. There's people who specialise in purely, say, women or animals, or that kind of thing. So that's something else to be aware of, because otherwise you could go to someone who's just trying to get paid, who's like, yeah, I'll do that for you, no worries, I'll get that done, and nah, they can't do it at all. They lie to you, and then you've got shit tattooed on your body, and that's fucking annoying. It really is fucking annoying. You can do cover-ups, but it's still a problem, because I believe the cover-ups, it's all a matter of, you know, what design you're going to be able to do and how big it is and so on and so forth. So you know, there's always things you got to be careful of. But I guess I only made this because, yeah, I know that young people, you young folk, that, you know, some people want to get tattoos at a young age or at a younger age. And I think what isn't mentioned is that it's actually, I don't believe it's really to do with the fact that, you know, it's going to look bad when you get older and you're ruining your body or whatever, so on and so forth. Even though people say that, I think those people, to me, just want to have a reason not to like tattoos. I don't think they really understand the fact that when you're younger, a lot of decisions you make when you're younger, you know, you're still in a process of changing. And even though you were confident, because I remember again being confident that I wasn't going to change, or at least I wasn't aware that I was going to change at any point. I didn't see any dramatic changes in your future, because you don't. Because you don't see them, you think that it's going to be okay. I am just so happy I didn't do it. I'm so happy I didn't do it, because I waited until a time where I was like, yes, I'm definitely going to do it now, and it's definitely going to be that, because I know that that's something that is absolutely going to stick forever, and there's no way that's going to change. There's no time or place. I'll be really unlucky if someone took this symbol and turned it into some kind of like new Nazi movement. I'll be really unfortunate. Could you fucking imagine? How fucking unfortunate would that be? Unbelievable. But yeah, that's it. That's all I had to say about tattoos, really. And that's it. If you have any questions or anything like that, obviously put a comment down below. But until the next time, everyone, have a wonderful day, And if you want to see more, you know what to do. Take it easy, everyone. Bye-bye.